It's after 6:30. So I will call the Board of Trustees for the Village of Cambridge, the meeting of Tuesday, October 25th, 2022 to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Breinig.
Here.
Franklin.
Here.
Whitworth.
Here.
Hollenbeck. Here. Cumbier.
Here.
Phelps.
Here.
McNally.
Here. Okay, if you can stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Proof of posting, Lisa?
The agenda was posted in the upper and lower levels of the Amundsen Community Center, the Cambridge Post Office, Hometown Bank, Badger Bank, and the village website.
Okay, thank you. Trustees, you can see that we have a new member to our group. Tim, welcome.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to your contribution and getting your sleeves rolled up and tackling the business at hand.
I'm ready.
Okay, all right, thank you. Public comment. Does anybody wish to speak about something this evening? Okay. All right, we'll move on from there. Approval of the consent agenda?
Good job, Mark.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion? Questions, considerations?
There were an awful lot of meeting minutes to go through.
Mm-hmm.
That right.
Everybody looks good?
I don't think any,
Okay,
I didn't have any comments.
all those in approval of passing the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, we're going to move on to reports. President's report. The only thing I want to just talk briefly about is Scott Farms. I stopped down there a couple times just to see how things are going. I like construction sites, and you know, there's all kinds of equipment. I learned today that they are on track. In a couple of weeks, they will be putting in sidewalks, the curb, and the gutter. They anticipate getting in there with sod, and they're right on track.
They're going to put sod down yet this year?
Not sod, seed.
Seed.
I'm
That's still okay. They're moving right along,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Where's this at?
Scott Farms, it's down Water Street, PQ. I don't know.
By the Catholic Church,
Thank
in
you.
that area.
Thank you.
The one thing that typical, and I haven't heard it, is you know, construction sites, sometimes they will get stuff caught on the lugs of the tires, the clay when they come out, and then that's splatter all over. And there hasn't been too much.
You don't have that there, because they're driving on gravel all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So I think it's.
And they have a broom duck, they run around with a broom every once in a while on the front end of the bobcat.
I'll give some updates.
So I think it's been a pretty good, you know, construction project, and they're right on track. Okay. Library board meeting.
That was, I guess, the day after our last board meeting. Big thing we talked about was the budget for next year, and also possible pay raises for the employees.
Okay.
About it.
Anything for the library? All righty. Audit and Finance Committee. How they doing?
We've had some rousing meetings.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
wonderful. We just met, we met yesterday, we met again today. I would like to thank Chrissy for her work so far on the budget. She's been putting in a lot of extra hours in and doing a very good job at it. We don't have a budget yet. We will have a budget by the deadline. We are still working through some things. And we'll meet again tomorrow night.
Yeah, and the deadline that Eric's talking about is so that it can be posted in the paper. And what gets posted in the paper is an estimated budget. So just like, but we have to notice it just like we do any other, public so that we have public meetings. So we will then be discussing and ratifying the budget at our November meeting, but by posting it at the beginning of November, that allows the public to take a look at it, and then if they want, then come to that meeting and discuss anything or bring anything up there, they can. But, so that's where we are. Just need to make sure it's balanced for that publication.
This is for the village, right?
For the village, yep.
Anything else you want to mention about this?
I think I'll pass for now.
Okay. All right, Director of Public Works, is Todd Lord here. And if so,
We
can you
signed
come
off
up,
on paying the bills. So we'll put your name,
introduce
I would
yourself,
say-
sir.
just sign under there. On that.
Okay.
We got the new guy that started, Jay. He started Thursday, and he's quite a mechanic. So,
Yeah.
remember we were talking about duct tape and stuff like that at Public Works? Well, he's pretty good. He's finding the problems, and he's been repairing problems with the plow truck. So
Oh,
that's a
fantastic.
that's a very
Yeah, that's great if he could
So-
be part of those bigger trucks and not have to send it out.
and he's
for
he's
repair.
a certified mechanic on top of that.
Nice.
So
Did you know that going in to
Yeah.
interview? Oh, you did.
oh yeah. I was looking at that going, oh, we need help.
Oh, no, great idea. I didn't know.
But to get the return on investment so soon, that's fantastic.
Right.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and he has a lot of public works experience too. He's got, what, 20 years? 20 years of public work experience too, for Fort and for the county, for Jefferson County, so.
Okay.
He was a mechanic at Fort. He was a foreman there. So
Good.
and we're off and running on the leaf thing, and there's a lot of leaves out there.
I'm seeing piles around town, and is
Yeah,
it because of the rain?
Well, it's not just that, they all came down at once, so everybody thinks that we're gonna get all of it at once, but we're working it. It's gonna be,
We
it's
still
gonna
have
be
a
a
lot in
week's
our
worth.
yard, so,
We're getting there,
that aren't down yet. So take your time.
we're getting there. Well, we got this week, next week.
Hurry, leaves
This has
fall.
just been this is a busy week
Yeah,
Do you want those leaves on the terrace or on the road?
on the terrace,
'Cause
not
I
on the
see them
road,
on the
because if
road.
you
Yeah,
put
'cause
them
they
on
get
the
too wet.
road, you plug the
Go through the
gutters.
drains.
Press release will be in the paper this week. This week it was sent to the paper and we'll get it on the website.
Thank you.
It's been sent to the paper.
So all on the terrace. Oh, TV land. All right.
And next week, the flag should be going up. They should have the part saying that if they don't have the part, obviously it won't be, but their goal is for next week for that to be up and operational.
Is there a particular day that that's going on?
I believe it's the 4th
So that was for the flagpole?
flagpole
Okay, what about the pump?
pump.
No, sorry, I'm now changing subject. What about the,
Well, number two,
don't have one.
Well number 2 is still running off of the
Temporary?
submersible pump.
temporary pump, waiting for the pipes.
We don't have any update on that, though.
No. You'll have,
I keep hoping every week, maybe they'll magically find it. Find the
Magically.
pipes we need, yes.
and we have been pounding away with that street sweeper, even though it doesn't really do that great.
I saw it go by my house.
Well, yeah, what he's doing is he can bring it, it won't really suck leaves up, but he can bring it into piles and release it there, and then have the guys go out there and chase it once in a while and get some of those piles, so they're not in the middle of the road or anything.
Is that a Pelican?
I don't know what that one is, but
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, but it's an old one and it's seen better days.
Pelican, did we get rid of a Pelican and we want a Pelican again? I don't
Yes.
think this one is.
You don't think this one's a Pelican?
I don't. I know
it is a Pelican,
It is?
Yeah, that's
the
what
new
I
one
thought.
that's
The
coming.
new
is-
one.
The new one is a
coming.
Pelican, yeah.
I don't know what this one is.
One we have now.
No, the new one we're getting. Are you talking about that one or the old one?
I'm talking, he's using the old one right now.
He's using the old
It's-
one, okay, I
It
was gonna
doesn't
say, why
vacuum,
would we
it
buy
doesn't
the new one
vacuum that
without
great. And
it
when, you know,
working?
it has to rain for it to use it. And so this is that time. So if you have to use rain for it to be used, then it's seen better days.
Yeah.
All right, so the streets will be clean. Everything else is all right. Lawnmowers are probably being put away.
No, not yet.
You're still
Still
mowing?
got some mowing to do. First, we're gonna focus on, there was just so many leaves this time around that they're still working their way. I think they've got about this much done, and now they're on their way that way for the next couple days. So,
And how is Johnson Street? That is all finished now, and can we get the signs off, or are you still waiting for that
they have to
here?
take the signs off. Those aren't our signs to take off,
All right,
so.
And
And they still have, there's still an issue there. MSA found an issue with the road, so they're gonna have to grind the road down and repave the intersection at Townsend and Johnson because there's a duck pond there.
Oh, really?
It dips down,
yeah.
yeah, that's,
That's a problem.
yes.
Yep.
That could be a problem in the winter.
Okay.
Cool.
So MSA will contact and,
They've already contacted them and they're trying to schedule that to come in, and that's not gonna take long to do, to grind that down and resurface that area right there.
okay. All right, well, we've thrown a lot at you here. Any other concerns
Nope, not this time.
you can see, or things that we should be aware of or keeping in mind,
We're
especially?
gonna have all those plow trucks ready, and then it's not gonna snow. Is
No,
that how it works?
that's the way it works.
But that's okay.
That's
Exactly.
supposed to be
Okay.
a
Yeah,
nice
we're
size.
not Lake Superior.
Oh, my. Yeah.
Okay,
Anything else?
Thank you, Todd.
Lisa, do you want me to cover my report from the
What?
meeting last week now, or from the Public Works meeting?
Public Works. If you want, we, again, and what we've done in the past, what I've been asked to do is, if the minutes are in the packet, we don't give the reports. If they're
Okay.
not in the packet, we do. But if you want to add something,
No, we do.
from Public Works, but the minutes are in the packet.
Yeah,
That's kind of the direction I've gotten in the past, that
I'll just go over a couple things. So we met last week and Todd covered most of it. So Johnson and Townsend, that's been covered. We talked about speed limit signs. So it's about $10,000 to put up for materials and labor for speed limit signs, mainly around parks, and we had a pretty good discussion about it. Doesn't really make much sense with the price. And then around the parks, you're gonna have to go from 25 to 15 to 25 and post it multiple times. So that kind of doesn't really make sense. We kind of just stopped the discussion there. We talked with Andrea Masadi was there from the Vineyards HOA. She's the VP. And we had a discussion, if they want to put in permanent signs, that's something the HOA is going to have to pay for, but we can assist in installing them with Public Works. So that was kind of a nice compromise. We had really good rapport with the HOA, so it was a good start. The shed at the village dump site, so we're going to start construction once that trailer is removed, right? And then
Whenever they're ready. We can have that trailer moved anytime. We have to empty it.
got to empty it and get that out, so.
Empty it, as soon as I empty it, I can call Steve's and it's out the door. And Wolf told me that if we don't get it emptied on time and they're gonna start building, they will come up and drag that thing out of there.
Okay.
So, or drag it out of the way.
So, we're talking about London Lumber coming out, maybe in December, and they're gonna honor the quote even though we're after the expiration, so, that's looking good. Street names, Chrissy's working on that, so that's all good. Flooring's been installed per the quote, so that was within budget. The lighting on the bike trail, so that, and within the Vineyards subdivision, we kind of discussed it, that's not really the village responsibility. So the Vineyards HOA, they're working on that stuff for the individual lighting on the houses, so, again, it was good. They're handling that stuff at their level, so, it was nice. The parking markings in the Vineyards, so that's by Vineyard Drive in front of the apartments. Apparently, a lot of tenants parking out on that street. So Deputy Lordson and I think it was Derek went out there and they painted with 30 feet on the north side and
Yeah,
south
Derek
side.
and I did that.
Okay,
That was my first attempt at
yeah.
that.
You're talking about the yellow around the curve?
Yeah.
corners? Yeah.
So So that's
Is-
been done. Is that helping out?
Oh, absolutely, because
Okay.
now you
Good.
can actually see
Yeah.
Good.
in that area. It was just terrible before.
So that was good as well. So, where'd you- where am I at? Yeah, improve the visual corridor. So yeah, that's good. And then the other thing with the HOA or the vineyards is the children at play signs. We informed them that the police department has multiple signs that they can have, and they can put it up in their.
We've got them upstairs in the office if
Yeah.
people want the yard signs, slow children at play, are upstairs in the office.
So the vineyards seem to be, very happy with that they can put those up, the residents can put those up whenever they want. And again, if they want children at play sign, a permanent one, entering the subdivision, they can purchase it, and we can install it for them.
Yeah, you can get them at Amazon,
Yeah.
right? Isn't that where you got yours, Amazon?
Probably. Other
have a
sign companies.
Question
would
about
do
the
it
speed limit signs. Why is it so expensive for a speed limit sign to be put in?
Just put in one.
You're not just gonna put one.
Yeah, it was 5,500 for the materials. It's just because you have to buy so many, because you got to post, what is it, around every park. You got to go 15 and then back to 25, but you got to do it multiple times
On both sides
on both sides of
of the
the street. So that it really added up quickly for all the parks. We can't just do it in one park. We'd have to do it
Oh, 'cause
everywhere.
thought you were specifically talking about the vineyards, and I'm like, that seems rather high.
Yeah.
So that was my question.
Yeah, because if we do it for the vineyards, we'd have to do it everywhere, So that's why it made more sense. If a specific subdivision wants to do it, the HOA can purchase those and, respectively.
The police did clarify that it is in our ordinances and state statute, so it is enforceable. They didn't want to see the speed, for one speed limit for one block and then changing back and forth. They'd rather see it not posted, but still enforceable through our ordinances.
And then we dove into the budget. We kind of consolidated, there's a lot of supplies and miscellaneous line items, so we consolidated those to try to clean it up a little bit for audit and finance, so hopefully that helped. We looked at, Todd put together a really nice list of equipment and supplies that we're going to need within the next year. And unfortunately, we're trying to fit some of those items, like the new lawnmower or whatever, into the budget, but
No,
It's
it was to purchase the one that we're leasing right now.
right.
It's 5,000. To buy that lawnmower brand new would be 15 grand. But that lawnmower that we have is in really good shape, and they're asking 5,000 at the end of the lease, which is February.
Which is nice, but we were trying to fit that into the budget, and it just doesn't look like it's going to work out, so we're going to have to borrow. So we're just going to kind of keep doing what we're doing, have Todd and the guys keep looking for the
5,000
best
is in
deal.
what other equipment we'd have to borrow for. 5,000 for the lawnmower. Yeah.
Oh, it made it in? Oh, good. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So yeah, so there's some bigger items coming up that we're,
I assume the Bobcat's paid for? The Bobcat lawnmower, the other one? I don't think that has a lease or anything.
Was that John Deere, the one that you bring out into the
The
vineyards? Is that
60
one you're-
incher.
That's the one you're talking about, that's 5,000 at the end of lease?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, that's a 72 inch deck.
72 inch?
That thing can mow fast.
Who's that?
How old is that?
3 years old?
Oh, that's not that old then.
No, it's a John Deere, and they want $5 grand for it.
No, that's a good
used.
deal.
Who's it leased through?
And it's got 100 hours on it or something like that, so,
Nice.
You haven't used it much.
yeah.
Through John Deere Corporation itself, not through like
Mid-State.
Stotts or Sloan's or
Mid-States.
whatever?
Mid-state.
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 and then the last item we talked about was LBK Park. So that's a village-owned park, and right now we have $12,500 from the developer, and about $1,100 from a grant. The Vineyards is looking to start fundraising for that, so we're going to try and collaborate with them on the design of it. Obviously, like, we have the final say, but since they're going to be fundraising, it's in their subdivision, we want to work together with them and keep this relationship going in a positive direction. So we have quotes from Lee's Recreation for, I think it was $32,000. I actually spoke to them over the weekend, and prices have gone up, so, we'll have to look at that. But what we're thinking is maybe putting something in the spring or in the summer, something very basic that we can afford right now, and then add on to it later. And I got the lines of communication open between the HOA and myself for fundraising and things like that. So overall, it was a really good meeting. Really good working with the HOA in the vineyards, and it looks promising. So.
We also thought that might be a good submission for Cambridge Foundation grant this year.
Okay.
For maybe the difference, or, maybe
Yeah.
say, we're going to try and raise another, we're
Good
going to try and raise 10,000 and maybe go to the Cambridge Foundation for a bit of that.
That would be
We could,
I
outstanding.
think that's a great idea.
Kidding. Those kids need something to do out there.
Yeah,
Would the Lions be interested in helping?
I could reach out to them.
Because they're a big community donator.
Yeah.
we can ask.
So the foundation and Lions Club for fundraising. So.
I know Lisa or staff can help you with the Cambridge Foundation request, because I know we always submit something at the end of every year, so that would be, I think, Yep. I think that'd be a good thing to add in there.
Cool.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Anything else, Chuck?
That's it, Mark.
All right.
Done with me?
I think so. We kind of had a report here from Chuck while you were up here.
Oh, no, that was a good.
Thank you,
report.
Todd.
That was actually a good meeting that we did.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
You're good. Okay, let's move on. Item E, under reports, village office updates. Lisa?
Touching on what Mark talked about, Scott Farms, I did meet with the engineer out on site with some residents. They are moving along. We do have, MSA does have an engineer that is directly overseeing that project. So they are out there regularly checking on things and so forth. We have regular check-ins. We just got the 3-week plan on what they're looking to do, so we're very interactive with them, working with them. MSA has close oversight on everything that's happening out there. We did meet with Dane County on the bridge on Water Street. Back when we redid Water Street, the bridge was not eligible for federal aid at that point. It now is.
Really?
When we did Water Street, the agreement was it was a cost share with the county. Once it was done, we took over ownership. They kept ownership of the bridge until it is ready to be redone. Federal funding, we are on the docket now for federal funding. They expect it to be 24 or 25 that it will be done. It will, right now, it's estimated at a $1.3 million project. It would be 80% federal funds, 10% village, 10% county. Once it's done, the village would take ownership. So that will be coming to us in the future. They will just be putting bids out shortly for the design stage. They expect in 6 months or so to award the design stage. So that will get the ball rolling. Once it's started, they will come, they'll have public meetings and meet with the board, get input on design issues we're looking for, questions, concerns, and so forth. But kind of just to inform us that the ball is starting.
How long does a bridge last?
50 years, they said, minimum.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I will be dead before we need to be.
Exactly.
So I can be caught up to speed. When they're talking about redoing this bridge, are they gonna take the deck out and everything and
Yes.
redo it like they did
Yes.
the
It will be
over the
widened.
interstate bridges and
Yep,
stuff?
it will be widened to federal guidelines now, the weight to federal guidelines, everything. So it will be a complete reconstruction.
Thank you.
So, yeah. And expecting that it would be down for like 3 months. They figure it could be,
That's a small bridge,
yeah.
Well, they do 2 a year.
yeah.
So,
There was gonna be a sidewalk on just one side,
one
right?
side.
Similarly to what
Where it
it's
is now. Because going on the other side, you're crossing a very large driveway, that's a private driveway, going back behind,
And you said 24, 25
Yeah.
timeframe?
yep.
Thank you.
So behind Row and the driveway going into Camrock Cafe, to put a sidewalk on that side would be difficult going across. So they left it up to us saying if we want to, we could, but it would be difficult and so, but those will be questions addressed during the design stage, but right now the plan is to keep it on the one side. A bike path could be put on the road on that one side. But the sidewalk does go up and a crosswalk over to the park where the bike path then goes. But that will all be discussed during the design stage. Elections, hot and heavy. Absentees in voting person started today. We probably had 20 people come in and vote today.
Wow.
So we're probably up to, between that and absentees sent out, about 170 total to date. We're still getting requests to mail them out. All the notices have gone to the paper, scheduling, training, and the public test, and everything is taking place next week. So that has been very time-consuming and will continue to be for the next month or so. Obviously, budget has been very time-consuming. Hopefully finish the initial on that this week, and then November 22nd will be the public hearing, where the board will then discuss the budget and any public input. Quarterly reports have been done, state and federal, new employee paperwork, so lots going on.
And we're not doing anything on the 8th because it's election day, right?
Yep, nothing on the 8th.
Okay, any other questions for Lisa? Okay, Lisa, thank you. Move on to bills. Chrissy, what do we have?
First round of bills was $46,399. Second round of bills was $40,243.13 for a grand total of $86,642.13.
I make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $86,642.13.
I
second. Tim?
Tim makes the second. Okay. Discussion?
I got two things. The Clean Sweep program,
Yes.
I know in the past that there's been pamphlets or stuff. I mean, how do we know about, how do citizens know about that Clean Sweep program and what it offers?
They send us the little pamphlets, and we put them out into the hallway there, the lobby area.
So it's just in the hallway, so people would need to come down. Do we ever post anything in the paper about it?
I don't think in the paper, but we could post it on the website.
On the
Dane and
website?
Jefferson County do post in the paper occasionally,
Okay.
but we could put something on the.
If we could post it on the website, I think that might be helpful. I mean, it's only $250 a year, but we are paying something for it, so it would be nice for that citizens to know that it's available.
Right.
Great. And then the second thing, I noticed that, Mark, you went to a conference. What conference did you go to?
I went to the League of Municipalities.
Okay, and what'd you learn?
I was going to give a report, and it was a day when we had a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'll go back and look at my notes, but I sat there for 2 days.
Yeah.
You know. It's not so much what you learn, it's sometimes it's the people that you run into.
The networking?
Yeah, that's the big thing.
It'd be interesting to get a report on, like, what were the 3 big takeaways that you got from it that made it beneficial? And would you go again? That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I know I've given reports about it in the past, and this time here, I'd have to go back and look at my
Okay.
notes, see if I can find it. But I think that's where I had come into somebody with Governor Evers, and I'm talking with them.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was
very
all I
nice,
had.
Mark.
Okay, any other questions? We've got a motion and a second, so I think this is bills and money, so why don't we do roll call on this?
Franklin,
Yes.
Whitwer,
Yes.
Hollenbeck,
Yes,
Kumbir,
Yes.
Phelps,
Yes.
Reinig,
Yes.
McNally.
Approved, yes. Okay, bills are paid. All right, move on to item 8A, discussion on possible action regarding authorization for the clerk administration, or administrator or treasurer to approve and sign the payables checks that need to be sent out in a timely manner due to no meeting on November 8th. This kind of gets into what you were talking about, Tim. No meeting next time.
We've done this before, so I'll make that motion, Mark.
All
I
right,
will happily second.
okay, any discussion?
just assuming that there are standard bills, if there's anything that's sort of unexpected, something that's a little bit out of the ordinary, assuming we could
Yeah.
either hold that aside or
Yeah.
have a, okay,
And we will provide a list of all bills paid.
great, thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got to vote on this.
We do?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Let's go with that. All those in favor of approval of the, of Lisa and Chrissy approving and signing the checks, because we will not be here at the next meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, it carries. Thank you. Unfinished business, Fire Commission update. There isn't anything that I have to report today. We haven't had any more meetings. We do have one coming up, I just don't know when. It's in the next week.
Good.
There has been no date on that yet. So I did talk with the president, or the chairman of the commission. So that's all I can tell you. I don't have a time.
And-
I imagine
and
it'll
then-
be posted, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it'll be posted.
And you're going to make sure Chris knows so that he can attend as well? Perfect.
I'll let you know. I talked to
And
Chris.
The letter that the board asked Attorney Landretti to draft was sent. So,
No feedback from that yet?
Sent to
Alright.
their legal?
to their legal and
That's the Oakland, right?
chairs
It's-
and so forth.
No,
of
it's the
all
commission. It went to the
um,
fire commission, which is the five
The
municipalities.
communities, the
Yeah.
fire chief and the EMS director.
Okay. All right, correspondence?
Sorry, one more thing. Did we send that letter to the other municipalities
Yes.
as well?
Yes.
Okay.
To the municipalities, to the, the commission's legal counsel, the fire chief, and the director of EMS,
Great, perfect.
and all commission members. Well, the commission members were the reps of the.
All right. Okay, correspondence, item 10. None, right?
See,
And I realized I didn't put the meeting dates, so we do have Economic Development and Plan Commission on the 14th. That's why I pulled up my calendar. Water and Sewer will be the 15th, Village Board the 22nd.
I'm going to want to have a personnel meeting at some point. I think that's Ted and Chuck. Okay, so we'll just have to arrange, I'll want to arrange that.
14th is what again, Lisa?
Economic Development and Plan Commission are both meeting that night.
And 15th is,
Water and Sewer.
none of these I'm on, right?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. On the economic planning and the planning commission, there had been a suggestion that maybe that both of those could kind of come in at
So-
the end.
Economic Development will meet at 5:30. Plan Commission meets at 6:30. It was discussed that Economic Development maybe come in, introduce themselves to Plan Commission, especially as we're preparing smart growth, that they'd like to be part of working groups as we start work on the smart growth plan and so forth. So we'll coordinate that.
I think it makes sense. It gets a little bit fuzzy. For instance, we have a new coffee shop, and how much of that is done through the planning commission and how much of that is done through economic development. It's kind of like both groups they're,
Yeah.
It's
different
really,
sections.
to me, economic development should be about who are we attracting to the city? What kind of things do we want to attract to the village? How do we want to bring those in? And to advocate and for the village and to network with other areas to say, hey, Cambridge is a beautiful little place, why don't you come and do business here?
And Plan Commission has the
And- yep,
statutory
yep.
authority to carry out development.
Yeah, and I know one of the
And-
things we're going to do is at our next economic development meeting, we're going to review what the ordinances are around the creation of that economic development committee, because I'm not sure any of those committee members have actually read the ordinance around it. And so that, I think, will give us better understanding and direction of what we need to do. I do know that there are a couple people on the economic development that have really great ideas, which is why we really want to make sure that we're at least a working group for the smart growth plan, so which would be great if we can be.
Okay. Well, we'll try to do that there on November 14th. At least have a introduction of the participants.
Intros are good.
Okay, moving on to item 11, questions, referrals to staff, future agenda items. The only thing I can think of is this is the time of the year where if you've got anything that you would like to throw in there for consideration by the Cambridge Foundation.
The LBK Park grant from the
Yeah,
foundation?
like I said, that will be a future agenda item where we'll talk about it. So in the meantime, if anyone has ideas, share them with me and we'll start compiling a list for the board to decide
Because
what
that
our
has to be
ask will be
submitted by, is that?
the end of the year.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a little bit of time, and they need the pricing on it. I know that we have talked about the lights in the Veterans Park, and I think that they are receptive to that, but, we've got to still get an idea what it might run to upgrade that electric system that's there, and then put lights on the flagpole, so. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, item 12.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? My gosh.
Is that a new record?